Hello, guys. Welcome to this live video of 3 tips to encourage your child to start talking to you more at home. So to encourage the use of like speech and language and communication. So the first tip I want to share with you is to use a reward. Okay, I know that there are people out there who say that it's not natural. It's like what they call ABA. It creates what they call post traumatic whatever that is PTSD, right? And using a reward, is it natural or is it not natural? I think that it is unnatural, right? If we keep on doing it, then it's not good. Okay, but in a short run, I think it's good enough. Okay, and the reason why is because hey, we're all motivated by external rewards. We're all motivated by external reinforcement. Okay, and just to say it out loud, right? It just means that do you work for money? If yes, then yeah, then you are rewarded for your behavior somehow, somewhat. Okay, so therefore, using a reward to teach your child to encourage them to communicate with you is actually the best thing ever. Okay, in the beginning. Okay, you know why? Because the children don't understand why they should imitate you or copy you. Okay, so that's why when you give a reward or you withhold something in front of them, it creates a sense of what should I do next? How do I get this? It changes the thing in the child's mind to think, okay, how can I get this? Okay, and then when you teach, it makes a lot more sense. All right, so use rewards, but the caveat here is that you have to be careful that you're slowly decreasing the reward you're giving your child, because for us, talking is internally motivated, right? We want to from our hearts to connect with people, to talk to people. Whilst this might be what we call a neurotypical thing, meaning that children who are neurodiverse, especially those who are on the spectrum, will argue that hey, all this socializing or whatever um, is basically something that us neurotypical people uh, made up, right? So I would say that most of all, even for the students who I teach on the spectrum, they still yearn, they still want to communicate. Okay, so that's why the rewards needs to be cut down slowly and decreased until it becomes natural for the child to speak out of their own decree, right? Okay, so that's the first tip. Use rewards. Okay, and slowly fade it out and teach them with rewards, and slowly just don't use it as much as they learn how to use language better with you. Okay, tip number 2 is to stop repeating. Okay, and here on Agents of Speech, we always say that repetition is the best thing ever. You need to keep on repeating, but at the same time, if you repeat something that you're not gonna someone who doesn't like talk to you, and you keep on repeating, that's not gonna help, right? So the reason why repeating your question and your command and repeating over and over in front of your child is not a good thing is because when you repeat a question, something that your child needs to respond to over and over again, you're teaching your child to ignore you, right? So therefore, my advice to you is not to repeat any questions or any commands. All right, if you repeat, make sure those repetitions are language that is easily understood by your child. And number 2 is that you're not looking for a response. All right, if you're not looking for a response, go crazy, do as much as you want, spam them, just keep on talking. But if you want a response, right, you think about this in an adult, or maybe in our society, someone who spams you, who keeps on asking questions and trying to get a response from you, those people are the people who are trying to get something from you, right? And it doesn't feel very nice to talk to those people. And children can get that vibe off you as well. So I don't think this is the best way to build up a relationship with a child or anyone. So repeat only selflessly, but don't repeat in order just to hear your child respond back to you. Okay, because that repetition is teaching your child to ignore you. All right. So Nandini asks, can you provide one-on-one therapy? Yeah. Well, I cannot do one-on-one therapy anymore physically, right? because of COVID. And I don't know where you are in the world. I do not do Zoom one-on-one because it's very difficult to teach a child over the internet, over Zoom. Like if a child was watching me, I don't know how to manage a kid over the internet, man. Right? So that's why we have agents of speech, which is a course. All right, we teach people how to do it at home themselves, and a lot of parents are seeing a lot of good progress. Okay, so Nandini, I'm not sure. Oh, you're in Australia. That's cool. So I'm not sure where, if you've been through any of our courses or anything, or you want more support, just let me know. But basically, if you haven't, you should go join agentsofspeech.com/micro, right? So we'll talk about that later. Let me finish my tips, right? Okay, let me put this away. Okay, so the third tip I want to talk about is this: to teach play. And I know this is a very broad thing, it's just like if you ask someone for advice for money and then they'll say, "Oh, just save more," or just earn more or something. It's a very, fail safe kind of advice, right? So you would say, "Oh, how do I teach my child to learn more speech and language?" You need to teach them play skills. You need to, whatever. You need to do imaginative play. You need to go buy those, I don't know, early intervention toys or whatever, and stuff, right? So when I say teach more how to play, what I mean is you have to be very intentional about it, okay? And you have to know the steps, where your child is and what toys are appropriate. So in this short video, it's very hard to tell you, but what you should always start off with, and I'll just give a general guideline. If your child is not speaking yet, then you should look for what we call cause effect toys, or means end, as they call. All right. And what those do is basically it teaches the child to press a button, something happens. And to some extent, talking is also like that. I say something, I get something, right? It's a means end. It's a means to an end. Okay. If your child is speaking a little bit, like one word at a time, then what I would encourage you to do is to get those semi-imaginative toys that look very that are fun, and there's a lot of sound and stuff, right? So for instance, like a microwave would work a lot because it's moving, there's sounds, and it's realistic, right? And anything like that will work as well. Okay, if you're talking about 2 to 3 word sentences, a child who is talking in, right, then what I would say is that you should invest in something like a Coke set, get something like a doll house or something to start teaching longer sentences like that. And if your child is speaking in sentences but not well formed, then obviously teach them how to play. Not obviously. If it was obvious, I wouldn't have to. Don't need to talk about it, right? If your child is talking in sentences but not well formed and cannot answer questions like why and how and so on, then it's time to teach them some board games and some very simple card games like Uno and stuff. Okay, so that's a very general guideline. And how to teach it is basically you need to make it fun. Okay, at the end of the day, you need to make it fun. And this ties back to the tip number 1. If you are having trouble teaching a certain thing, you need to think about how you're selling the toy. Number 1. Number 2 is, do you have a reward that goes with the whole thing? Is it internally motivating? Does the toy at the end or during of which the child is having fun, right? So that's the problem here. Okay, cool. So let's see what some questions are, or whatever it is, or comments. So someone says, "Hi Ming, my child doesn't even try speaking at all. I'm trying to follow tips from her course. She can speak few words and talk gibberish while TV, but nothing when we try to talk." Right. So we're not trying to, if your child is speaking a few words and talks gibberish, obviously inside the class, not obviously, sorry, I always use this word for some reason. It's not obvious. Is that you should be teaching the bunch of gestures that should go in front, right? So we always don't try to teach a child to talk first because we cannot pry their mouths open. So try to do the gestures first. Don't even care about the sounds yet, okay? So go do that first. All right, do the gestures. Trust me, I've been talking about this a lot. I've been using this a lot, and for the whole of my career, gestures has been the best thing that anyone can do. Okay. Alrighty, let's talk. Let's see. Yes, Laura and Sean. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing the course and thank you for endorsing it. I'm very happy about that. Cool. So Kuyen, hey, what's up, Kuyen? Says spiritual motivation, e.g., good, very good boy, can remain as is it? Well, yeah. The thing is, you're you're thinking about different things. Okay, so for instance, that's not spiritual motivation. That's a very Chinese way to say it, right? So what it is praise, right? It's praise, and what we call positive feedback. So you need to understand that reward and positive feedback is different. It's different. Okay, I can, if you do your job, let's say you work in the HR department, right? You do a whole day of work, and then you say, good job, right? Then you feel good. Yeah, I get recognized, I get acknowledged. But what if instead of giving you what would made you want to work in the first place, which was the money, at the end of the month, the boss just says, "Hey, man, good job. There you go," and that's it. No money. Well, how would you feel, right? Then you're pairing something bad, which is the lack of a reward, a materialistic one, to you actually praising, and that's a bad thing. All right. So all these praisings and what you call spiritual motivation is very important, but it cannot take away the power of having a materialistic reward. All right. And slowly, when children, you get why I'm talking about this, right? Is because talking for a child is very difficult. So therefore, you need a high reward for a high skill level thing, for a difficult thing. So if you tell me, hey, you gotta write a 10,000 word article, right? And I will give you $2,000, let's say, and I'll say, okay, I'll do it. But if you tell me 10K and a word of praise, I'm not gonna do it. Are you crazy? So if one day writing becomes so easy to me that it's just like me talking here for free, then I'll do it for free with praises and stuff. Because you guys, there are praises coming in here, right? So therefore, I would tell you, when your child is ready and talking is easy for them, you don't need materialistic rewards because it's easy for them. But when talking is hard and they don't understand, use rewards. It makes a lot of sense because, as I said, if I tell you to do something really hard and I don't give you a reward, then why would you be motivated in doing it, right? Why would you even try? Just initiating would be a difficulty. All right. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, Koyan. Okay, cool. So Nabil says right now I'm using household objects and helping my daughter to speak 5 sentences about that object. Wow, that's really crazy, Nabil. I think that's too much. Why would she want to speak 5 sentences? I think at this point in time, Nabil, if you want her to say that many things, you gotta have a strong context. Meaning, it might be like play, it might be board games, card games, whatever, right? And you also do role play. Role play is good. Role play is great. Okay. So Joey, what's up? Joey's been we've been talking over email. Nice to have you here. The hardest thing is to teach play. My son always too excited to the toy. He would grab, snatch before I can teach the context. I have to rush faster to grab back the toy. Yeah, you shouldn't have the toy in front of him, right? You need it's about how you control the environment, right? So you put it in front but closer to you, and you're always putting the hands down, right? Whenever, like, if you allow him to move his hands around, you're always in a mode of trying to save fire, if you get what I mean. So stuff happens, you try to correct it. Stuff happens, you try to correct it. How about you prevent it from the beginning? Put his hands like this on the table. Oh, sorry, scare my cat. Like this on the table, and then just use one hand to press on it, and then show him the context a few times. All right, let him play, and then that's it. And use toys that have a separate tool. Let's say like a piggy bank. I think your child is at the level of using a piggy bank and using not a vending machine though. Like I'm thinking not ball drop. That's too easy though. Like we're talking about. So Joey, tell me what toys you're doing. Maybe that will give me some idea about what to tell you. So Koyan, yes, no problem. Yeah. Can you suggest how to make gesture for papa mama verbs like going, coming? Right. Papa mama, you don't need gestures. Just tap will do or point will do, right? Because they're nouns and it's in the real world situation. So like it's a real thing and a real person in the real world. So we don't need to do a gesture for it. Like we don't need to sign that out because it's more communicative just to point it or tap it, right? So you just need to teach your child to do that. All right, and come and go. You don't need to ask me. Just go on Google and just search. Like we talk about this in the course. So all you need to do is just search on Google like gesture for go and come, or ASL, what sign language for go and come. And obviously there are sign languages for different countries. So you have to make sure that you're using the one that's most appropriate to, and whatever natural is also okay. All right. Okay, cool. So let's keep on going. I don't know who this is actually. Maybe this is Yao Mei Qin or something. Okay, cool. So if a 3-year-old can repeat words with me, but she can't speak them in sentences, sometimes she can do 2 words at a time. Does she consider speech delay? Yeah, I think so. That is considered a speech. Should be a language delay. So, is it Yao Mei or is it Mei Qian? I'm not sure. So you should go get a language assessment. Okay. 3-year-olds should be speaking in around 3 to 4 word sentences. I mean, you would know if you're children of around the same age, counterparts, right? Nandini enhanced 4-year-old making small sentences but talking only when he wants something. Yeah, Nandini, there's a course that we have that talks a lot about that. It's called Word Combiners. Go to agentsofspeech.com, check it out. For a 4-year-old making small sentences but only talk when he wants something, I think you're not even at the point where we can do board games yet. I would think. I think we need to do more pretend play. Yeah, Pop the Pig is great for Joey's kid, Kuyen. Very good. Today I'm teaching him cooking using microwave, washing fruits in the sink. That's the first time you saw toys, maybe too excited. Yeah, well, do it one at a time, right? Do it. I remember you joining the course like Word Combiners. I think if that's the case, if it's too excited, then all you need to do is to do it one at a time and only teach one verb and one sentence structure. Okay, so because there's too much stuff on the table, maybe. So take it one at a time and make sure you control everything. Alrighty. You guys liking this? You guys liking this kind of interaction? I like it. So if you are new here, welcome here. And if you haven't, go to agentsofspeech.com/micro to join us. It's a crash course for parents, all right? And because how sensitive the topics here are, and because I don't like Facebook and a lot of people don't like Facebook, we have a membership on Agents of Speech, and we're considering moving to a private app platform, and we can do a lot of this kind of conferencing over there, maybe even on Zoom, where we can be even more private. So let me know if you like this, and if you guys use Apple, then hallelujah, then that would be a good place for us to make the app. So let's keep on going. My 3-year-old daughter can finally interact with me instead of screen time and give her toys and play together. Yeah, I'm so happy, silent viewer. Oh, well, you're not silent anymore, right? Criziel. Sorry if I made a mistake. Yeah, that's great. More toys, less screen. Okay, Birdie says, when my daughter comes to me for something and I do tapping and gestures, she looks elsewhere and sometimes she's get angry and walk away. Thanks, Miss. Oh. Well, Birdie, the thing is, she doesn't need to look at you when you're doing it. That's the whole point of tapping and gestures, right? The reason why we don't teach speech right away is because most of the time, a child needs to look at you to really see your mouth shape and see how it works and so on, right? So when I teach you guys to use tapping and gestures, if they look somewhere, it doesn't matter. And if sometimes she gets angry and walks away, it's because it's too long. So I would say that you can delete some of the gestures and only teach one first. So the only one that I always talk about, or a lot of therapists talk about, but they never teach the parents, right, is the open palm gesture, like this, right? This one, remember? Like that. If I know, Birdie, you're in the course. So when you do that, it changes the child to wait for you. So obviously, if you're doing tap, tap, open, and then like that, it's taking too long. So children only get angry when they're asking for something or when they want something from you, or just in general they're playing with you, is because you're taking too long and they don't know what's going on. So yeah, simplify the gestures, choose one or two, and do it quickly. After you help her, then instantly give the thing you were supposed to give her. Okay. Go Yan. Uh, about games for kids. About how? What about jumping jack? Catch it. What jumping jack? It catch the fox. What is that? Let me take a look. Jump jack. It catch the fox. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's around the same thing, right? So if I can share my screen about people who don't know what Kuyen is referring to, I guess is oopsies, is this, right? So catch the fox, you press it and it comes up. This one, the whole thing pops up if you put the carrots in or something. You're guessing, right? Catch the fox. Let's see. Okay, so it's similar to pop the pig, right? It's very similar. So let me stop sharing. Yeah, it's very similar. It's fine. It's totally fine. But pop the pig is just fun. So you can use it. I totally agree with you. But don't use the dice for your child, for instance, Korean, because he's too young. He might eat the dice and so on. You don't need that. Just simplify the toy. Maybe just the fun part for the young child might be just to press on the pig, or just to put stuff inside of the pig, or and for your the two toys you talk about, it might be just seeing the thing launch and stuff, right? So make sure that you are make sure you're simplifying for your kid because he's young, all right? So someone is saying, can speech delay or language delay be outgrown? Well, the thing is, you never know, right? You never know. That's the problem here. You really never know. So that's why we have all this kind of resources out there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And there are studies going out there saying, like, okay, so if, for instance, your speech or language delay is because of, or not because of, is related to preterm, like premature, giving birth to a child, then studies are coming out saying, because it's been a long time studying this kind of cases, is that they don't even children are less likely to catch up by primary school, and sometimes it will extend to secondary school. Okay, and we're not even talking about like, yeah, so delay, this word is less used nowadays because it tells parents, it gives like a impression to parents that there is a chance of catching up, right? And it will work, it will catch up if it is truly a delay. All right, but if it's a disorder, then you have to be careful because it's not something that can be outgrown and needs to be managed. So my answer to you is probably yes, but I don't know when, right? And I really don't know when. Thanks, Nandini. See, these are not a reward, but it's a praise, just to talk about what we were talking about just now. Okay, well, really long thing here. Let me read it. So Reen Jazz says, I'm so torn because I'm losing daytime with my baby because I need to work. By the time I finish, he is about to sleep. I have little time to teach and play with him. Other family members are not as concerned as I am. They think he's just a late talker. I've applied some things about playing and that I learned through your videos. Somehow he knows to say broom broom and car for car. Not much, but it's great. Start for me. Thank you for doing these episodes. Yeah, no problem. So I think that it doesn't matter if you're losing daytime for now. Obviously, it sucks. Obviously, it's best if you can have all the time in the world with your child, but at the same time, you don't need you don't need 100% of that time to do so much. You just need like 10 to 15 minutes every day, right? So it's not somehow he knows, it's because you've been playing cars with him and broom broom car and so on, right? So maybe if you can get a slide or even just a board or a book and and lean up to make a slide. Sorry, I'll just make it make a slide or something, and then slide it down and teach 1 2 3 go or something, or yeah, just 1 2 3 go, and teach him more routines surrounding the car. Maybe sliding is the only thing you can do with the car, or you could roll the car all over the child's body. There's not much you can do, all right? But at the same time, you need to create a routine, okay? Since he's already talking, he's obviously more than capable if he can say broom, broom, right? Think about that. It's pretty hard. So it should be fine as long as he understands how to use more language when you create those routines with those like 15 to 20 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes that you have. So Birdie, the open palm tester were not bad. She accepts it. But after 2 weeks following you and your teachings, I noticed some slight movement, not on speech itself, but playing quality, and she's looking more for attention, calling us. Can I call it a movement? Yeah, you can call it a movement. Right? So obviously doing this kind of stuff will make the child feel like oh, there's something I understand about it, right? I understand how this works, because maybe dad or mom before, they keep on like repeating over and over again and so on, and therefore now if you stop repeating and you're very direct with what you want from her, just an open palm or whatever, and she accepts it, then it's obviously she's gonna feel like, oh, it's safer to talk to you, right? So about the open palm, right? The problem here is what is it actually, Birdie? What do you mean by you're not bad? Tell me more, right? So Vivi says you have the same problem as Birdie. What kind of problem are you talking about, man? Are you talking about that from here that gets angry after a while? Well, I did talk about that just now. If you rewind back a little bit, then you would know, right? Okay. So thanks for all the questions, guys. And I just want to say I'm very happy. And this is what I'm trying to do with Agents of Speech, just as a parting message, because it's already been 30 minutes. And I don't want to stretch this, right? Okay, so before we leave, I want to talk about, and I'll answer this question right after, okay? Don't worry. So the thing is, we will have courses for each level of the child. For instance, we have micro and the full introduction course. It's just for training your mindset, right? And then we have the 0 to words, which is more of a teaching your child how to speak from zero, ground up, and it's very technical, right? It's like do this, and then we have word combiners, which is very technical as well, which is do this, do that, right? And also we have 2 more courses coming up, which is going to take a lot of time, okay? And then it's basically about verbal reasoning and also storytelling, those 2. And at the same time, at the back of everything, we have the membership, which is where it's not open right now, is where you can upload videos to me and we go through it together on Zoom. And it's been going pretty well so far. Everyone is saying good things about it, other than it's laggy. So we need to do something to deal with it. All right. So, and at the same time, for the membership, we're building out a new communication platform, which is like a forum or something that's not on Facebook. So it keeps it clean and very private. Okay. Facebook nowadays with a lot of privacy issues and so on. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll link to join the course that enhance 4-year-old child skills. He also refused to ask questions and says, I don't like it. Okay, I'm not totally sure about which course to actually recommend to you, but if he can talk and he hasn't been talking in full sentences, like can he do say mommy is eating the banana or something, mommy's eating the apple, that kind of stuff. If you can, then go to this link I just put inside. Okay. All right. Yes, thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Thank you. All right. So this is the last question I'm gonna answer. Oh wait, I missed one. Most toys you suggest are in most courses are not available easily in India. How can we try finding alternatives pertaining to words we want to focus on? Right. So I'm not sure, my friend, how like Ankita, right? I'm not sure what level is your child at. Okay, it doesn't need to be exactly the same toys, right? It doesn't need to be. I'm in Indonesia. There's most of the time I don't get the stuff that I used to use a lot. So it's not something like I'm not sure how to help you with that. It's about finding something that does something similar and just going with it. Okay. Yeah, if you can do that, then you can't really that course wouldn't be very helpful to you, I believe. If if I were you, I would start reading more books, more storybooks. All right. Okay. So um May Sin, I guess. Silent H. Hi, Ming. My 4-year-old daughter currently starts I want. I suspect not really understand proper way to say I want. Especially I'm doing gestures to encourage her to say open candy, but she came on I want. Yeah. Well, you need to teach the gesture only. Don't care about the I want at all, right? Because if she's stuck at I want, then I want has no particular meaning. To be honest, there's really no particular meaning. I've talked about this many times, right? Don't care about it. Just focus on her doing the gestures, right? Okay, really, really last question. Okay, mild ASD child try to repeat everything, just started, but some are not. But when wants something, she pulls my hand saying, Mama. And after I ask, so what should I do to make her speak without prompt? Yeah, it's in the ASD. Happens a lot is that this prompting cycle just keeps on going round and round, right? They're waiting for you to prompt them in order to say something. So if you're not inside of the micro course, Minky, go check it out. Basically, you just teach her to use a gesture instead of a sound, because whenever you're prompting her to say mama, you're always using your voice. So how do you get rid of your voice to prompt her to say mama? You can't. So you must use a gesture first. All right. Okay, cool. That's all for tonight, guys. And Nandini, for you, the membership will be a good option for you later on if we're going to open this week, and you can submit videos to me and we can have a chat on Zoom. It's very private and we can all learn from each other. All right. Cool stuff. Yes, I want is a very ABA thing. And sorry, I keep on saying I'm going to leave, but your questions and comments are very good. So yeah, the ABA, I want whatever, I want this, I want that. I used to do ABA myself. I would say that it's because you didn't explore other words and other functions of language, right? The problem is that it's always about rewarding, right? So that's the problem there. Okay, so if you guys really want to join like Nandini here, make sure that you are subscribed to my email newsletter. Just go to agentsofspeech.com. We'll talk about that there first, okay, inside of the emails. All right, so that's it, guys, and I will talk to you next week on Monday as well. And stay safe, especially if you're in Southeast Asia like myself. Just stay safe, guys, and we'll speak soon. Bye-bye.